prefer to take them out and show them wildlife. I love it, folks. I've been doing it on and off for 10 years now, and this is my 3rd season up here out of Telegraph Cove working for Stubbs Island Whale Watching, and I love it. What brings me back to this area, folks, is the diversity and the amount of marine mammal activity that we get in a very close area to Telegraph Cove. Is almost second to none here in British Columbia. It's an amazing area, and I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I do. And Carmen also enjoys it a great deal. Carmen's gonna be your naturalist. This is her 4th season back here, so there must be some reason she keeps coming back. I'm gonna let her tell you.
Not the weather.
Yes, definitely not the weather. What she's done in the past, and mention some of the wildlife we might encounter today, folks. Go ahead.
Dall's porpoises today, and we were really lucky to see those Dall's porpoise bow or sort of riding the head around one of the humpback whales. You don't see that very often, so that was an interesting interaction. And of course we saw the killer whales today, so that's who we've seen from this page. We were also lucky enough to see some harbour seals out there today. Now, one of the things that harbour seals and sea lions are very good at doing is telling apart the calls of different whales. Now, this is really important for them because if you remember way back at the beginning at Telegraph Cove, I told you there were two different types of killer whales that lived in the area here. There was the one type who eats fish, and then there was the other type who would eat seals, sea lions, dolphins, porpoises, and other marine mammals. So the seals need to know what type of whales are in the area. So to get everyone thinking about that and how it could be a bit difficult, I want all of you to pretend that you're a group of seals. You're swimming around out here having a great day, and you're going to hear two sounds. One will be the sound of a fish-eating killer whale, and one will be the sound of the killer whale who, if you're a seal, would love to eat you for dinner. So what I want you to do is try and guess which one is which. So here is your first sound. Okay, now keep that sound in mind, and here is your second sound. Okay, so let's see by a show of hands, who thinks the first whale's gonna eat you, if you're a seal? Okay, who thinks the second whale? If you have your hand up right now, congratulations, you survived! Unfortunately, a few of you might have gotten eaten, but that's the way of life. So, you might have noticed the first whale was making more sound. Now, the reason the first whale can make more sound is because it's hunting salmon. Salmon don't have great hearing, so they can afford to make more noise without scaring away their food. The second ones are being a little bit quieter because they're hunting seals, dolphins, porpoises. All of those animals have good hearing, so they need to be a little bit sneakier so that they don't scare anything away. Now I am going to talk a little bit more about orcas in a minute, but before I start talking about them specifically, I want to talk for a minute about human history with them. So you can tell from the name, killer whale, they have not always been a favorite amongst people. You might be thinking, why don't you call them orca instead? That sounds so much nicer. Unfortunately, their Latin name, Orcinus orca, actually translates to mean demon from hell. So they don't really have a great name. Part of the reason people in this area historically did not like killer whales is because the whales were out eating salmon. People wanted the salmon for food also, so there was conflict over the salmon. It was very common for fishermen in this area to go out with guns and be shooting at killer whales. And it actually got to the point where there was a machine gun installed near Campbell River by the Department of Fisheries with the intention of killing every killer whale that swam past. The way that the killer whales are able to find a good mate is through sound. So within the northern fish-eating community, we have 3 different vocal clans of killer whales. So to equate that to human, it's like having 3 groups of people. 1 group from Canada, 1 group from England, and 1 group from Australia. Now they're all going to speak English, but they're all going to sound a little bit different. Same thing with the whales. They all have the same language, but they sound just a little bit different. So I want you to be able to hear that. So I've got a few different calls for you here. The first one is actually from the A30 clan of whales, and those are some of the whales who we saw today. The next group I'm going to play for you is the G group of whales, and they have one distinct call I want you to listen for. Some people say it sounds like a donkey. It goes meow.